Hello, and thank you for attending SAGE Alerts and Workflow video-based training. Please note that this is video-based training, and content is for training purposes only and intended for new and existing SAGE Alerts and Workflow customers.
Hi, my name is Jane Nichols, and today we are going to talk about linked queries using multiple databases. So we will retrieve and analyze data across multiple business applications in query design within the Alerts and Automation solution. To begin, we are going to discuss an event that uses two queries from two different applications. In our example today, we have an event that uses two queries. The first one has to do with new sales opportunities entered into a CRM application for customers who happen to be on hold in an ERP application, which is the second query. When creating an event that uses multiple queries, the first thing you have to do is be able to identify how those queries will be linked together. What field do those queries have in common? The first query checks for new sales opportunities for customers in our CRM application. The second query takes those results from the first query and checks to see if those customers are on credit hold. The field that both queries have in common is the customer field. So we will look at linking these queries using customer name or customer number. Let's take a closer look at each of these queries. First, we will look at the query that looks for newly placed sales opportunities. To do that, we're going to click on the CRM application, click on Queries, and then I have created a new opportunity query, and we'll go ahead and click on Edit. This query is designed just like any other query looking to identify newly placed orders. If I click on the Columns tab, you'll see that I've used three tables and have selected columns from each of the tables, such as account number, account, opportunity number, description, and so on. It's important to know that we need to make sure that we have included the linking field, the field that both queries have in common. In our example, that's going to be the customer name, which I've identified here as account. We need to make a mental note of that customized name of the field we are linking from. You can use any field of data that is common between your queries. It just needs to exist in both applications. Moving on to the Links tab, you can see that I've linked all three tables using the Solutions Linking Wizard. Next is the Filters tab. You can see that this query has two filters. The first is looking for a status that is equal to U, standing for unfinished. And the second filter is looking for opportunities with a create date that is equal to today's date. Now we are ready to look at our second query, or our Link To query. That query is located in the ERP application. So we'll go ahead and click on the Update button for this query, open up the ERP application, click on Queries, and locate the Link To Accounts on Credit Hold query that was created. Once I locate it, I click on the blue Edit button. And it's important to note here that although the preceding query, the opportunities being created today, can be ran by itself if you would like, but the Link To query can never be run by itself. That's the query we're looking at right now. It is dependent on a preceding query to set some information, the Link From query, that the Link To query is going to utilize. Remember, we like to preface our Link To query descriptions with the words Link To. It's a visual reminder to choose a preceding query first and then the Link To query. Looking at the Columns tab, I've selected two tables for this query. One is the customer table, the other is the salesperson table. I've also selected several columns retrieving a number of data, such as customer name, current balance, and credit limit, and more. Those two tables are linked together in the Links tab, and it is on the Filters tab where the Link to query links this query to a preceding query. We will start by looking at the second filter for this query. Notice that we are filtering on the customer's name. That is the value that both queries have in common. The filter is reading that the customer name is equal to, and now in the compare value, I've chose the customized name of the field that we are linking from. That is the field from the preceding query, and that is account. We type in the name account and surround it with the curly braces. It is those curly braces that tell the solution that this is the field coming from a preceding query. One important thing to note is that link to queries such as this are not available for preview, as preview mode in the solution has no knowledge of a preceding query. Therefore, if we previewed this query, we would not get any matching records. In order to test an event that uses both of these queries, we need to run the event itself. Let's go back to the event that uses both of these queries that we just looked at. To close out of this query, we'll click on the green Update button in the corner. We will then go to the ERP Applications and select the Events option. Locate the Sales Opportunities for Clients on Hold and click on the blue Edit button to open the event. The first thing that I'm going to do is go down to the triggers and remove the queries that this event is using. That way we can go through the process of selecting the two queries for this event. The first query we are going to select is in our CRM application. So I'm going to go to the Triggers topic here and click on the Add Trigger. I will select Query, and it brings up Add a Query Trigger. Notice that it defaults to the ERP application that we are in. In this case, we want to retrieve the query from the CRM application. So we'll click on the drop-down arrow and select the CRM application. The available queries for the CRM application will be listed in the description box here. We locate the New Opportunities query, highlight it, and click on the Add Query button. Next, we'll go ahead and click on the Add Trigger button once again. We will select Query, and the second query that we are looking for is in the ERP applications. We go down to the Description tab, and we are looking for the Link to Accounts on Credit Hold query. Click on the Add Query, and it adds it to the list of triggers. When this event runs our first query against our CRM application, we'll see if there is any newly placed opportunities. If there are, the solution will retrieve the records, take the customer name, and then go and run our second query to see if that same customer is on credit hold. If they are, this event will be triggered for those records, and the corresponding alerts and workflow will be executed. Note that the alerts and workflow have access to all the information from both queries that is associated with this event. If we scroll down to the email alert message, it has information from the CRM query, such as the opportunity number, description, customer, and so on. And it also has information from the ERP query, such as credit limit and current balance. Although this event is retrieving data from just two queries, an event is not limited to two queries. An event can use up to 100 queries and retrieving data from different databases. This concludes our discussion about linked queries from multiple databases in query design within the alerts and automation solution. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for attending Sage Alerts and Workflow